Y&R Spoilers reveal shocking secrets about Diane that will surprise viewers. The atmosphere becomes heavy when Kyle Abbott, who always considered his mother, Diane Jenkins, as someone he could trust completely, suddenly discovers a shocking secret that he could not have expected. Diane, the person he had placed all his trust in, is secretly having an affair with Martin Laurent, a man with a dark past and many dangerous schemes. Kyle's anger cannot be contained when the pieces of the dark conspiracy that Martin and Diane are trying to hide are gradually revealed. Every step Kyle takes is like he is falling into a deep hole of doubt. He cannot understand, is his mother dragging him into a game that he never wanted to participate in? The relationship between Diane and Martin is not just a personal matter, but maybe part of a larger conspiracy where Diane is acting as a middleman, manipulating everything around her to achieve her own goals. Feeling that he cannot sit still, Kyle decides to confront his father, Jack Abbott. His uncontrollable anger forces him to speak up, giving what he considers to be extremely important warnings. He recounts all the events he witnessed, the details that he considers suspicious about his mother's behavior. Kyle no longer trusts Diane as before, but instead is worried and suspicious about the secrets she is keeping. Jack, who has always been observant and not easily fooled, also begins to sense something unusual in Diane's actions. The shady signs from her unusual meetings, secret calls and cryptic gestures begin to make him rethink Diane's relationship with Martin. Jack decided to find out more about the truth behind Kyle's suspicions. He took action, sending detectives to follow Diane, collect evidence, and take photos of her suspicious behavior. The interrogation between Jack and Diane took place in a tense atmosphere. Diane, for the first time in her time living with the Abbott family, no longer had her usual confidence. She could not hide her tension, faltering under Jack's sharp questions. Each question made her feel like she was being stripped of the protection she had once trusted. She could not lie convincingly like before. Diane's every expression made Jack more certain of one thing: she was the one behind the entire conspiracy that Martin had carried out. Both Kyle and Jack were facing a complex picture that they could not see completely. Diane, once again, shows her cunning and calculation, not only in her relationship with Martin but also in the way she has created the perfect cover to hide the truth. Jack, after having obtained clear evidence and proof, is finally faced with a difficult decision. Can he continue to accept Diane as part of the Abbott family, or must he face the cruel truth that she is not who he thought she was? Kyle's warnings are not unfounded, and perhaps, even Jack will have to face a more difficult choice than ever. Can he forgive Diane, or will he be forced to cut off all ties with the woman he once loved and trusted? In the world of intrigue and manipulation in Genoa City, a long-hidden secret is coming to light, and Diane Jenkins, once considered a valuable member of the Abbott family, is facing the inevitable consequences of her cruel actions. It all begins when Diane's son, Kyle Abbott, discovers the dark secrets his mother has kept hidden for so long. Diane's secret relationships, manipulations, and bad decisions can no longer be hidden. And when Martin Laurent, whose past is dark and calculating, comes forward, Diane is at risk of paying the price for the actions she thought she could get away with. A horrifying secret exposed. It all started when Kyle, by accident, discovered that his mother was not just the mother he trusted, but also part of a vicious conspiracy involving Martin Laurent. Kyle's anger was uncontrollable when he realized that Diane, whom he had always considered loyal and loving, was manipulating everything around her, and that she might be the mastermind behind the plots against others. Her relationship with Martin was not just personal, but could be a large part of a larger plan that Diane tried to hide. The truth gradually revealed itself, making Kyle unable to believe his eyes. He grew up with a different image of Diane, a woman of strength and intelligence, but now, that image was shattered like a soap bubble. Kyle could not accept that Diane could be involved in such dirty plots. Not only does he feel betrayed, but he also feels deeply offended, because for a long time, Diane has played the role of his protector, and now she is the one who pushed him into the spiral of dark secrets. Jack Abbott and the important decision. Not only Kyle, Jack Abbott, his father and the head of Jabot, is also facing an extremely difficult decision. Diane used to be an important part of the Abbott family, and moreover, she is a talented employee at Jabot. However, the undeniable truth is that Diane's actions have gone beyond the limit that Jack can forgive. Jack cannot accept Diane's cruelty. Her secret association with Martin and participation in shady conspiracies is not only a betrayal of the Abbott family but also a serious threat to Jabot's reputation. With all the evidence becoming clearer, can Jack continue to keep Diane in the company? The answer seems obvious, but Jack still tries to seek the truth and an explanation from Diane. He hopes that she will admit her guilt and stop denying it, but the truth is that Diane will not accept defeat so easily. She will try to justify her actions, find reasons to excuse her mistakes. But can Diane's excuses convince Jack? Or will Diane finally face the punishment she cannot avoid? Martin's testimony, the death of a dream. Diane can no longer escape the law when Martin Lawrence's testimony is revealed. Along with the undeniable evidence, the truth about Diane's connection with Martin cannot be denied. She has participated in a dangerous conspiracy, and now, everything is slipping away from her hands. The testimony of Martin, who was Diane's accomplice in the past, is the most important evidence to expose the crimes she has committed. Diane cannot deny what she has done. Things have gotten out of hand, and now she faces the possibility of being dragged into the clutches of the law. A feeling of fear and despair is taking hold of Diane. She is no longer the strong and resilient woman everyone once knew. Instead, Diane is now living in extreme anxiety. She knows that there is no way to escape what she has done. She must face prison. But is Diane ready to accept this punishment? Or does she have another plan in mind to escape the law? Punishment or a new plan? Diane is facing the cruel reality that her crimes have finally been exposed. But is she ready to face the punishment? Or does Diane have another plan in mind, a way to escape this punishment? She is a smart woman and always knows how to find a way out, but can she escape the punishment for her evil deeds this time? As everything comes crashing down around her, Diane must make a final decision. Will she accept the truth and face the consequences, or will she continue to fight, justify her mistakes and try to find a way to escape the law? One thing is certain, the truth can never be hidden forever, and Diane must face a hard truth. As the final cards are revealed, Diane must face her decisions and the consequences she could not have foreseen. The ending of Alain Laurent? The Young and the Restless, dramatic battle of minds in the world of intrigue and conspiracy. On The Young and the Restless, each character has a dark past and an unpredictable existence. The story of Alain Laurent, or rather Martin Laurent, has captured the attention of viewers throughout the past time, especially when the deep secrets of this character are gradually revealed. What will happen to Alain, who is not Alain as many people think, when this story reaches its climax? Will he be arrested and sent to prison, or will it all end tragically? Here is a detailed look at the dramatic plot and developments surrounding Alain Laurent on The Young and the Restless. The shocking discovery about Alain and Martin. In the recent episode, viewers witnessed a shocking truth when Ashley Abbott confirmed that Alain was not really Alain Abbott. This story caused a huge shock to those who believed that Alain was part of the Abbott family, but the truth about his identity was completely different. Alain was Martin Laurent, a man with a dark and criminal past, a person who had no relation to the Abbott family. This made both Ashley and the Abbott family face the painful reality that they had been lied to all this time. Not only Ashley but even Chance Chancellor, who had cornered Alain, had to admit the potential danger of Martin Laurent. With his sophisticated actions and plans, Martin was not someone who could be caught or defeated easily. But Chance's appearance in this investigation has put a big question mark on Martin's future. Can he escape the law, or will he face a dire end? Chance versus Martin. From discovery to truth. The appearance of Chance Chancellor has shed light on many secrets about Martin Laurent and his role in dark conspiracies. As a sharp detective, Chance is not easily fooled. He begins to investigate the actions of Alain, and quickly realizes that Martin is the one behind all the shady plans. In a tense confrontation, Chance puts Martin in a difficult position, leaving him no room to hide from the truth. However, this does not mean that Martin accepts defeat easily. One of his outstanding characteristics is his resilience and ability to defend himself in difficult situations. Martin is not only a con man, but also a man with talent and the ability to find a way to escape the law. This leaves everyone in the Abbott family worried about Martin's ability to conceal his schemes and continue to hide from the law. Martin Lawrence's ending predicted with the discovery of Alan's true identity and the clear evidence provided by Chance, Martin has nowhere left to hide. However, the big question is whether he will be sent to prison or will things end in a more tragic way? The story could go one of two ways. Martin is arrested and sent to prison, where he will face the crimes he has committed over the years. However, given Martin's dangerous and scheming nature, his easy capture is unlikely. No matter how hard the detectives and members of the Abbott family try, Martin will still find a way to deceive and escape punishment. Or, Martin could make more extreme choices that would make the story go downhill and become more tense. Could he fight back hard and make his pursuers pay with their lives? Or, a more tragic outcome could come when Martin chooses to end things on his own rather than face justice. This would be a huge shock to everyone involved in the story, from the Abbott family to Chance Chancellor and everyone else in Genoa City. Horror situation: how will Martin Laurent die? With all the secrets revealed and the danger that Martin brings, his story seems to be entering its final phase. However, no one can predict the sudden change in the next development. Martin is a man who is not easy to defeat, and in the current situation, he may have another plan to escape punishment. Everyone in the Abbott family, especially Jack and Ashley, wants to see justice served. However, with Martin's cunning personality and ability to deceive, any effort will likely be met with strong resistance from him. This could create a tense and dramatic battle where everyone will be faced with difficult and unpredictable choices. Tragic ending or new beginning? With the events that are unfolding, a tragic ending is not out of the question for Martin Laurent. However, there is also a chance that this storyline will open a new chapter where the remaining secrets will be revealed, and Martin will have to pay for everything he has done. Perhaps, in his final moments, Martin will leave a final message for his pursuers, or he will try to go into hiding once again. Whatever the outcome of Martin Laurent, one thing is for sure: this story will continue to be thrilling and engaging for viewers, keeping them glued to the screen. Finally, the question of Martin's ending will be answered, and a new chapter of The Young and the Restless will officially begin.